This is a unique, strong and effective team for Open Great League, and today trainers we're diving together into the beloved format of Go Battle League with a lot of nukes coming up from both Shadow Poliwrath and Shadow Typhlosion. With those two we're also gonna add in their Gradient, which is a pretty safe and spammy Pokemon with Crunch. I do not like Trailblaze at all. I already have some coverage, somewhat of a coverage against the Mad Boys, so I guess that Crunch is gonna give us extra coverage against those ghost types that we really need to be afraid of, and also we can get some extra coverage against something like an Annihilate, which is a fighter which can destroy us down if we are not careful. So here comes now the Typhlosion with a Thunder Punch to finish off that Gligar, and we have one more this time for Feraligatr. I don't know what they're expecting here, so Feraligatr is out of the way, and before the farm is down with Dugong we have one more ready to go, this time for that Pokemon. So they're already below 50%, Typhlosion really did its job, and now with Poliwrath coming into the game I am pretty sure that whatever they throw can easily be taken, since Grident is alive and well, able to destroy down the remaining HP that they have with its chubby smile. Into the next battle now, trainers, with a Lantern up in front. This is always a tricky one, but look at that. Did you see that mini lag? Well, that means that we're behind on energy. And right here now, after that FPS drop, they outspeed us to the Thunderbolt, which is something that I was not expecting them to do, but it is what it is, and down we go before we even reach to Dynamic Punch. That could have been so entertaining, but the game decided to go and do otherwise. So anyways, now on the Switch we're meeting up with the Sableye. Return can easily be taken since Shadow Claw deals about 1 damage on our normal type Pokemon, and we're just gonna keep going at it with more crunches. I'm pretty sure at this point that they're gonna take the move, and down they go. Now that they have only one shield remaining and we have two, perhaps Shadow Typhlosion can emerge victorious even up against that Lantern. So Blast Burn will connect here for so much damage, and all we need to do at this point is to block whatever move they throw and completely farm down in return. I'm expecting now the Jumbluff to have Aerial Ace, so I'm just gonna go ahead and seal the first move, trying to protect my Typhlosion while they're getting super close to another one. This can be super scary, but at the same time I believe we can already catch on our Gradient if we're kinda smart over here. I waited a little bit before switching, about 2 turns, which is 1 whole second. Not gonna go for any Incinerate because this is the amount of time that anyone is needing to prepare themselves for not catching a move, and playing anti-psychology, reverse psychology or something like this, we managed to get the catch on our Gradient. So now Jumbluff with the RLAs will finish off our Pokemon, while Typhlosion will return and finish off the Jumbluff out of existence with its Thunder Punch, which was already ready to go. So Pidgeot now is a lead that you should not be afraid of, especially on Shadow. I should have stayed in there, so I make the horrible decision on switching out, but hopefully we bait out of there the Annihilate, which is a Pokemon that with shields can destroy down my other two. So we can do a little bit of extra damage with our moves here. Another Crunch is imminent, and most probably we're gonna drop them very low. So at this point, not only they completely farm down, but also they have enough HP to survive my following counters, and I do not want to get into the battle with my Typhlosion yet. I realize here that this has to be just a Night Slash, not even the Shadow Ball, so down they go to my counters. Just gonna go here for the Ice Wind on the Pidgeot, and then perhaps I need to switch out on my Typhlosion. Now that we are both even on shields, perhaps we can have the upper hand with the moves, but my opponent has Feraligatr now coming into the game. If they have Aerial Ace on that Pidgeot, perhaps we are in a pickle, otherwise we can have a chance with Typhlosion. Another Thunder Punch is coming off, this time to grab that final shield out of play, but here here comes now the first move. They have farmed up a lot, but they end up going for the RLAs, which is something that I was not expecting here, so down we go to those moves, and to be fair, I should have expected that move. They have a Shadow Pidgeot and I played this one horribly. If you happen to encounter a Pidgeot on your own, well, feel free to stay in. Shadow Poliwrath will really do so much damage with its Shadow counters. Into the next battle as we're facing up another bad lead, this time a Frostlass. Hopefully though, much like the Pidgeot, you can always count on that Pokemon, on your Poliwrath I mean, with its moves. Now with the Shadow Ball Guts on our normal type, we can have the upper hand against that Nidoqueen as well, because not only we survive the move, but also the poison jabs are never gonna be enough to finish us off, at least at the first time, because right up next they can easily farm us down. So another couple of body slams is gonna be thrown on that Nidoqueen, and we managed to do so much damage with that move that they need to block for the second time. So here comes now a nice win before they fire off any move at all, so Poliwrath is kinda on point here, and now with only Feraligatr remaining at the very end, we're just gonna keep going at it with our moves. Hydro Cannon will be blocked as we're expecting them to switch at some point, and after we farm a ton of energy, we're just gonna go for a simple Thunder Punch and grab the victory against a weird trainer that thought they were gonna have a chance anyways. Into the next battle now, everyone, with Poliwrath up against Apollyon. This is obviously finally a very good lead for us. Now with the switch out to Goodra, we do not have a lot of options, so I decide to stay in here and go for the Ice Wind. After the Icy Wind, I have already dropped them pretty low with my counters. We also got a shield out of play, and now we can survive even a Draco Meteor if they have one. So I'm just gonna take all of those moves that they're gonna throw, and seeing them go for Aqua Tail makes me think that perhaps they have no Draco Meteor at all. Who plays that move? Right, I do. So Body Slam now on that Goodra, and we can start pushing even more with our spammy moveset. Now with Empoleon coming into the game and returning here, we're lagging once again, so Crunch is gonna be my main priority on that Pokemon. We managed to drop the defense, but unfortunately we cannot reach to another charge attack. So at this point I decide to return to the battle with my Poliwrath, trying to completely farm down with my moves. As it seems, they have so much energy stored up that they barely have a double Drill Peck. We need to block accordingly here and still reach now to the Dynamic Punch over Wigglytuff, which is something that they are gonna block. I did not expect a block, to be fair, but still it is what it is, and now Typhlosion can join the party with a simple Blast Burn to obliterate down that Charmer. Into the next one now, trainers, with a Mantine up in front, returning to those very bad leads that we always have, and now Grident will join this fight. So with the RLAs being the only move that they can throw in reality, we're just gonna survive the following charge attacks while we can do some cheap damage, and in combination with more Body Slams we might actually do the trick over Mantine. Now they switch out though on that Annihilate, trying to catch the Body Slam I guess, but we have one more Crunch ready to go. This time it's gonna drop them very low and almost will be kind of a game changer for our Poliwrath, since it can farm up a lot of energy in the process. For some reason, up until this point, I was thinking that Crunch was super effective on Annihilate, but definitely this is not the case at all. Anyways, now, with the Night Slash able to be blocked here, all we have on this battle is our Typhlosion, and I'm just gonna block whatever they throw with their Gligar, and at this point, I'm just gonna try my best with Thunder Punch. So, Gligar here is gonna be able to go for more moves because they end up getting the bait correctly, calling the bait correctly, and so down we go to that RLAs, which is kinda underwhelming. So if you were kind of a better battler than I already am, this battle could also be won pretty easily if you were just a little bit smarter than I am. So anyways, into the next battle now, after we catch a very good lead against Basadon, on the switch we have this weird looking Wigglytuff, and of course I'm expecting a Shadow Victory Bell at the very very end. This is a very common toxic line which makes a lot of sense if you put it down the line. Anyways, now we're just gonna keep going at it with our body slam, and we have left this Wigglytuff with a very low amount of HP and they still survive our moves. I decide to block here in a very risky call, so right after we're just gonna go for that crunch to do some lethal damage on them, and even though they block, they still go down. This is absolutely awesome for us. Victory Bell returns, but they stand no chance at all because of the alignment being won by our Pokemon. They had 1 HP and they still went down on that move of ours, even though they sealed it. That was super entertaining. Into the next battle now with a Salazzle up in front. They have pretty much to block whatever we throw, and now over here we're meeting up with a Ninetales from the Alola region. You know what, even the Weather Ball can be taken while we're just gonna keep going at it with our Thunder Punches. I'm expecting Salazzle to return, and right now we're having access to Thunder Punch, and since we can survive the Incinerate, well, we can go for another one. My opponent now goes for the Poison Fang because they realize that back-to-back moves are coming up. Salazzle goes down to a simple charge attack, and now Ground Ball comes into the battle for the first time. I was about to say return, but yeah. Anyways, down they go as soon as they see my Grident, and we're just gonna keep going at it on the final one trainers with the Sandslash from the Alola region once again. So this Pokemon is obviously a very good Pokemon for our team to face with, because not only we have Poliwrath up in front but also Typhlosion, and to be fair, even that Grident of ours can do so much work on that Pokemon. So anyways, we end up going for the double block, I guess, here, because this is an easy farm down, and since we have the absolute scare of that Alola Sandslash, we're just gonna keep going at it with our fast attacks. Now let's see how they want to respond since Sandslash returns into the game. We already have access to our Thunder Punch to grab that final shield out of play. They decide to use it on Sandslash. Did you just see how much damage 2 Incinerates did? That was crazy. Now Grident comes into the game, and of course they have the Annihilate at the very end. All of a sudden they have a win condition and we need to play accordingly. Now my opponent is gonna go for the move, and I guess that if we go down to the Shadow Ball right after, they are kinda energy dry. So here comes now a move. This has to be something like a Night Slash, which we can survive and still have access now to our crunch. So down they go now to that move. That was super scary. Now to the farm down, and we managed to beat them because their Shadow Claws are resisted. That was an amazing ending for today's content. Thank you for watching, trainers, and for sticking around till the end. It really means a lot for my channel. Before you go though, leave a huge like, subscribe to my content, and I hope to see you all into the next one.